And Draymond said that 4-point shot play that Van Vliet had really seemed to turn the game. Did you feel that when you were on the court that it kind of was deflating?
Yeah. Anytime you start out a quarter not organized, not matched up, it's definitely deflating. One play that definitely turned the tides, but we're not going to sit here and say that that's the real reason why we lost.
What would you say is the reason?
We just gotta get these 50-50 balls. We gotta rebound better. That's been the story this entire series. They've gotten the loose balls and they've gotten way too many offensive rebounds.
You guys you missed, I think, 14 of your first 15 to open the fourth after that Van Vliet three. What would you say is leading to some of these prolonged offensive droughts?
I think it's the pressing part of it. We'll be fine. We just got to continue to make the right play time after time after time. If somebody's open, they get the ball, you create for somebody else, and then just the karma of the game, you're going to find yourself more open more often than not.
Jimmy, what would you say would be the reason for the lack of hustle plays coming out on you guys' end? A lack of effort or a lack of energy?
I won't say that it's a lack of effort. It's just if you want to do it or not. That is the bottom line. If you want to rebound, if you want to dive on a loose floor, if you want to take a charge, all of those little things is if you want to do it. It's really that simple.
You always talk about taking the right shot or getting to the right shot. Do you think some of the guys are turning down the right shot a little bit too often?
Sometimes, yeah. But, too much of any good thing is a bad thing. You can be way too unselfish. You can be way too passive. I think you got to find a fine line. And, yes, obviously if Steph is open, you pass up your shot to get it to him. But when it comes to everybody else, like if you find your shot and you're in rhythm, you take it. If you're not, it's simple. Pass it to the next open guy or create for somebody else or create for yourself. I think a lot of the times we do a lot of thinking and it doesn't end well for us.
Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy Butler's not worried. Draymond Green's not worried, but it's a winner, go home. And, of course, the winner of that game will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round beginning on Tuesday night in Minnesota. So, Fezzy Phil, I'll start with you. Last thoughts before we head to a Game 7.
Well-fought game. Both teams are, well-coached defensively. Offensively, I think the Warriors have taken a step back this series. But Game 7 is what you've been waiting for. Hopefully I see some Jonathan Kuminga, some Eric Congo, but the athleticism for the Houston Rockets has really bothered the Warriors so far.
The Warriors' energy has got to be higher from the jump. They have to come out punching first when they go to Houston. This has been a fun series, but now it's a matter of seeing where that veteranship that we've been talking about all series long, will that shine brighter when the lights are high in Houston?
Warriors have trailed after the first quarter only in 5 of the 6 games.
Yeah, I think that experience that Zena's talking about has to show up in execution and really get into offense quickly. You heard all these guys talk about 50-50 balls. To me, that there's a lot of athleticism. So Game 7, man, you can throw all the numbers out the window, and we got one game to see who moves on.
Let's end this show on a good note. We got a special birthday, Zena Keita.
Joyeux anniversaire.
And you mentioned, Sponte, not only have the Rockets dictated pace of play and style of play, I think their defense has felt really good about what they've done, even when they lost. I think that, they had to make the Warriors work. And these last 3 games, that I think the lack of ball movement has affected Steph's quality of shots. Now, tonight he got 23 field goal attempts. I thought he needed to get 20. But I think if you looked at him, not very clean looks, and not looks off ball movement, body movement, that typical rhythm and flow offense we see from the Warriors.
Just the second game in which Stephen Curry has attempted 10 or more threes in a game in this series. Rockets doing a good job on Steph, especially over the last 3. But Jimmy Butler, he tried to will. It was Batman and Robin. They were just looking for their afro tonight, the Golden State Warriors, that is, and they couldn't find them. As Jimmy Butler, 7-17 from the floor, did get to the free throw line, Fezzy. 12 of 14 from the free throw line, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. It was a game effort by Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy is Jimmy. He is a gamer. He's going to come into the game trying to find a way to make an impact. 1 for 6 is also part of the Houston Rockets game plan, trying to push Jimmy away from the paint. Putting Steven Adams in the game. He's trying to limit Jimmy Butler's touches in the middle of the paint. You saw a couple block shots from Steven Adams. This is the way that they're isolating Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. You guys go be superheroes. Try to make these tough shots. But everybody else, we're going to shut them down. And I thought in this game, this took the Warriors away. These numbers for both Jimmy and Steph Curry, it shows that the Houston Rockets defense is working. The Warriors got to get back to that same ball movement. The same thing that got them here. You got to have everybody on a string. whatever it is, it's ball screens, getting Steph. If you double team Steph, you kick it to GP2. I think that was part of Steve Kerr's thinking. Is GP2 has such great chemistry with Steph, he can come off those ball screens and make plays. But you got to make shots to start the game as well.
If there's anyone that had the closest rendition of their typical game tonight, it was Jimmy Butler. You look at his numbers, 27, 12 of 14 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That is a very Jimmy game. But again, that Houston defense brought him out of character by forcing 6 outside shots. That is not what Jimmy does. You would prefer those shots coming from inside the post or being able to translate into something going outside, kicking out to his teammates. So once again, even with the best player on the floor playing his best version of his game, the Houston defense still did their thing.
Yeah, I think if you look at Steph and Jimmy, they put up good numbers, but both guys' efficiency numbers down from their normal numbers, right? Jimmy's, 7 of 17. It's a good number, but usually he's really, really efficient. Steph, same thing, 9 of 23. But I look at the lack of impact on the other players. So GP2, you mentioned Fezzi. I think coming into the game, we thought double team Steph, GP2 rolls, gets a few layups, knocks down a few threes. That didn't happen for him. Buddy Hield had 0 points. So when those guys are rolling, all of a sudden the way they're playing fast, it's opening up opportunities for Buddy Hield. Then, Moses and Paz are pretty good, but with the Rockets defense, you need more from Quentin Post. So I felt like, again, the Rockets' defense and the Warriors' lack of ball movement made them more of an isolation team. Like you can say they got good numbers, but those numbers didn't impact their teammates like they usually do.
Okay,
Quickly,
look the other way. Before we go to break, Steve Kerr mentioned that Jonathan Kuminga, his return to the rotation is 100% on the table. Quick thought on that.
Game 7? Throw him in? Air Congo? Ready for liftoff?
I'm ready for takeoff. I didn't even say Air Congo.
I hope the jet is gassed because, man, it's been a long time since it's been in the hangar.
I kind of not joked, but I said he'd be a good matchup with Tari Eason, and Festa, he'd be a good match with anyone.
Anybody on that roster.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him in this series.
I feel like this is a series tailor-made for Jonathan Kuminga and his athleticism, but to throw him in Game 7, I'm really excited. I want him to come out and have an Air Congo. Now I'll be yelling
I'm a little concerned
Air Congo
about
all around this arena.
I'm a little concerned about that, Zeno.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting.
Wow.
Either that or you wait to the start of the fourth quarter when it's tied, then you throw him in there.
You guys just
Now
trying to
you're
put
ready.
pressure on
Now
this
you're
young
ready.
man.
You ever hear of Mariano Rivera?
I've been waiting this whole time for you.
That was on the table.
Oh, man, more coming up here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live. We'll hear from Draymond Green on the other side.
Toyota Warriors.
Saya tak nak aku sedih tu tu. Dia là con sao bị nha. Nên sẽ tô màu nâu.